Hinduism is pretty hardcore. Man, they got a dude that destroys universes, chopped his own son's head off, and drank poison to save humanity, all while being... That would be Shiva, by the way. They got a dude that wants to sleep with his own daughter so bad he grew 5 heads just so she can never escape his stalker eye. Like,
here's Johnny.
That's Brahma. And we got a dude that's
laying a dude disguised as another dude.
Vishnu, who slept with 16,108 women and also constantly shapeshifts into one of his 10 avatar forms to save our universe, which, by the way, he casually created from his morning wood. Now mind you, I'm saying all of this respectfully because I really think Hinduism is pretty damn cool, and I want to show you just how cool it is, starting with the dude whose morning wood the universe was born out of. Respectfully, of course. That dude would be Vishnu. And Vishnu existed when all that existed was just endless nothingness and a giant snake floating in that endless nothingness. Vishnu was casually sleeping on top of that giant snake, as one does, enjoying an eternal nap, when one day he woke up with a lotus flower growing out of his belly button. A lotus flower with a huge and long stem that blossomed into another god resting in its petals. I think you can see why I call it morning wood. I know a penis metaphor when I hear one. That god born into the flower born out of Vishnu's morning surprise was Brahma. So there Brahma now was, just chilling comfortably in that lotus flower when he heard a sound reverberating through the endless nothingness around him. And he was like, yeah, I think that's my signal to create the universe right now. So Brahma took 3 petals out of the lotus flower and he turned one into the ocean, another one into the sky, and the third into the earth. Then, proud of his work, he shouted down the lotus stem to Vishnu, "Hey, bro, let's hang out and walk around this awesome earth that I just created." And so they walked around the empty earth, but Vishnu was not impressed, and he was like, "You know, dude, you're not my equal. you're actually kind of my son. And you know that the moment I inhale this world, this universe that you created, it will be destroyed because I am eternal and I own your ass, and you only have 100 years to live, which to me is nothing, literally just how long it takes me to take just one breath. You're temporary, I'm eternal, and when I exhale, new Brahmas will spawn from my lotus and create new universes because I am everything. I am
inevitable."
And Brahma was like, "Okay, hey, what's that crazy light beam over there?" And Vishnu wanted to be pissed that Brahma didn't marvel at his great speech, but there was actually a pretty crazy light beam over there on this barren earth that wasn't supposed to have any life or light yet. So Brahma and Vishnu went to explore this light beam, and at its center, they found...
Woo! Superhero landing! Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
And Shiva was like, "Hello, fellow gods, I am Shiva, the destroyer of universes." You just, I mean, technically I am. You know, it's funny, Shakira, was it? It's funny you would say that because this guy was just going on about how when he burps, he destroys... Excess is when I exhale. He destroys all universes, and I'm like, you're like, I'm Shakira, the destroyer, like a 12-year-old's nickname. But the thing is, all of you seem to forget that the moment Brahma, I blink at the end of my day, this universe will actually cease to exist and I create a new one every day of my life. Okay, it's Shiva, actually, chill. And that exposition just felt super forced. And also, that means we're all destroyers of universes? That seems redundant. Yeah, but like, only I can create new universes after you destroy them. No, literally, I just told you that when I blink, like, did none of you listen? Yeah, but that's like one universe you destroy or create, bro. I just inhale and I destroy all. Like, I don't want to do it right now. But like, just imagine. You know what I mean? Okay, chill. Also, just so you know, this is not the only universe. Like, you think it is, but there's actually a multiverse, and only I can destroy the multiverse. Bro, don't even bring the multiverse into this. That even made the Marvel movie suck. So they decided that ultimately, even though they technically can all destroy the universe, they're gonna assign specific roles, and from then on, Vishnu was known as the maintainer, Brahma as the creator, and Shiva as the destroyer. Oh, and Shiva also wanted to be the god of dancing because Shiva was also kind of doing the whole two genders thing before it became popular. So with that out of the way, Brahma decided it was time to create life on this still empty earth of his, and so he created the woman Sarasvati. And then Brahma looked at that daughter Sarasvati he just created, and he was like,
that girl is bad. Fine, with a capital fine.
and Brahma's thirsty ass wanted to get all up in his daughter, but Sarasvati was like, ew, I'm your daughter, you're my dad, this genre of porn doesn't even exist yet. So she tried to hide from him in every direction, but Papa Brahma grew 5 heads so that she can never escape his sight. And when Shiva noticed the pervy family thing that they had going on, he was like, ooh, incest, gross. And Shiva chopped off one of Brahma's 5 heads so that the dude calms the F down with this whole incest thing. And then Brahma married his daughter anyway, and from that humanity was born.
Oh well, we tried.
So other than that, as the destroyer, Shiva was basically waiting for the day he can get his Thanos on and destroy the universe so that another one can be born. And while he was waiting, he decided that the newly born humanity should be taught yoga to transcend their physical limitations. And so Shiva casually became the god of yoga. But you know how when you get to yoga class and there's a bunch of fine things running around, like, you know what I mean? Well, at yoga class, Shiva met the love of his life, Sati, the goddess of marital felicity and longevity, and to impress her, he told her a story. You know, I don't usually go around telling people this, but you know, this one time, and I really don't want to brag, but the snake lord Vasuki poisoned all the oceans, and literally everybody would have died, everybody. And I was like, not on my watch. So I totally drank all the oceans and trapped the poison in my throat, and it was like so bad that my throat turned blue. And ever since, you know, I saved the earth, and they kind of call me Blue Throat. Your nickname is Blue Throat. Yeah, I know. From a throat job. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It happened just like that. It's written in ancient Hindu scriptures. Look it up, Google it. And somehow Sati fell in love with Blue Throat, and they loved each other so deeply ever since that to Shiva, Sati was like the greatest thing ever. The problem was that Sati literally was like the greatest goddess ever, and she was so amazing that the god of the Himalayas, Himvat, and his wife, Mainvati, were like, I wish our daughter was as great as Sati, you know, so that a man like Shiva would maybe fall in love with her. And Himvat was like, you know what? You're right. You're right about it. In fact, if you don't give me a daughter like Sati, miss me with that shit. And so his wife Mainvati was under insane pressure to deliver this great daughter, and Mainvati went to pray for 3 days straight without eating or drinking, praying to the goddess Sati to appear before her and grant her one wish. Sati was so amazed by Mainvati's devoted prayers that she actually did appear in front of the woman, who immediately uttered her one wish. This is gonna sound weird, but can you die and be reborn as my daughter so that my husband has this amazing daughter that your husband Shiva will fall in love with? And Sati was like, that's a great idea, I love it. And Sati tossed herself in the fire and burned to death. And Shiva was like, what the f? In fact, Shiva was so sad that the love of his life just committed the most random suicide that he started to meditate so long and so hard that over the years he basically became one with nature. But as Shiva was meditating for ages, Sati was actually reborn as the daughter of Himvat and Mainvati, and the happy parents named her Parvati. And Parvati's first word was Shiva. And ever since, she was simping hard for Blue Throat, so when she was actually old enough, she went to see Shiva, but the guy was still so deep in this meditative state that he could no longer hear or see in this physical world. He was in an entirely different meditative realm, and the only way Parvati could reach him was by meditating to his shrine, forgetting about food and drink and all physical worldly desires except for Shiva. And eventually, her pure love reached Shiva in his meditative state, and he was like, wow, damn, this is pure love right here. let me be toxic and test it. So Shiva transformed into a rich man dressed in fancy robes, possessing all things material one could ever want. And the man visited Shiva's shrine where Parvati was worshipping the god, and as a rich man he tried to lead her astray, like, what do you wanna waste your life worshipping some homeless hippie for? Don't you want a life of riches? Come with me, I can show you the world. And Parvati was like, calm down with that cheesy ass Aladdin line. I don't want you, I only want Shiva. In fact, I am he. Yep, Parvati was the first person to say I am he, now better known as And Shiva was so impressed that Parvati loved him so purely that she even considered herself one with him, that he decided to take her as his wife. And so they loved each other intensely ever since. Except for when Parvati turned into an evil, murdering, bloodthirsty goddess from time to time, also known as Kali. Alright, so remember how Parvati is kind of Sati reborn? Yeah, it turns out that this whole please grant us the perfect goddess duplicate daughter thing that didn't work out as planned, and the new goddess of harmony and love and motherhood, Parvati, kind of suffers from serious schizophrenia, meaning she has two other personalities, Kali and Durga, who generally are like,
we're here to fuck shit up.
Specifically, Durga is the goddess of strength and war, and Kali is the manifestation of Durga's wrath, aka the out-of-control Hulk version of Durga who only lives for destruction and bloodbath. Generally though, Durga is a pretty useful warrior to have by your side, and this one time,
at band camp,
Shiva was fighting the evil demon Rakvij, who was yet another one claiming to be the ultimate universe destroyer. And since Shiva is scheduled to destroy the universe in a timely manner, he couldn't have Rakvij wreaking havoc, so Bluethroat stepped up to fight him and chopped at Rakvij with the might of his swords. But the problem was that every drop of the demon's blood insta-spawned into another demon, which is just super frustrating when you're trying to kill somebody. And Shiva was like,
No! This is not how this was supposed to go!
So Shiva asked his wife if it's that time of the month yet and she can turn into Durga to help him. And it turns out that it was that time of the month. So Shiva's wife turned into Durga and stepped up to fight Rakvij with him. But in essence, they just ended up spilling more blood, creating more insta-demons, and the epic battle turned into a test of stamina. But the ever-spawning demons were so frustrating that Durga eventually reached her limit, and her wrath peaked at way over 9,000. She grew angrier and angrier until her wrath finally manifested into the ultimate force of destruction, into Kali.
Just got real.
And Kali, man, she just flat out ate every insta-demon that had spawned from Rakvij, and then cracked Rakvij himself open to drink all of his blood and murdering him for good. But since Kali is pure wrath manifested, she was like,
Can't stop. Won't stop.
she didn't stop there. And she went on a killing spree, specifically stomping around while doing so, stomping so hard that she was threatening to destroy the universe. And Shiva was having serious Vietnam flashbacks with yet another wannabe universe destroyer threatening his job position. So he threw himself under Kali's foot so that she stomped on him. And when Kali looked down to see her beloved husband discovering a new fetish, she calmed down and reverted back into Parvati, the kind personality, who was in fact so kind that she even forgave Shiva that one time he chopped their son's head off. Parvati and Shiva had two sons, and every once in a while in their marriage, Shiva went off meditating for a couple of years or decades, probably whenever Parvati was on her Kali murder and destruction thing. So this one time,
at band camp,
Shiva went meditating just after his and Parvati's son Ganesh was born. And this time, Shiva was meditating for so long that when he came back, He didn't recognize his now adult son, nor did the adult Ganesh recognize his father Shiva. So when Shiva tried to enter his own house to creep up on his wife taking a bath for some sexy time, his son was like, and so Shiva chopped his son's head off. Understandably, Parvati was shocked when she found her decapitated son lying in what I assume was a pretty damn large pool of blood. So she was like, Shiva, that's your son, Ganesh. And Shiva was like,
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
and so he had the genius idea to take the head of an elephant and stuck it on his son. And that's why Ganesh has an elephant head from that time. Of course, Vishnu was also busy while all this was going down. He was the maintainer, after all, remember? And as the maintainer, Vishnu was basically the dude saving our Earth whenever it was close to destruction. Maintaining it, And one of those cases might actually sound familiar. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The entire Earth is flooded, and a godly figure appears to tell a chosen man to build a large boat and save a sample of every species and repopulate the world after the flood. Yeah, basically every religion has that literal story, and in Hinduism, the godly figure that appears is Vishnu in the form of one of his avatars. That particular avatar's form being a man with lower fish parts, so like a merman.
It's the essence of wetness.
A merman under the name of Matsya, and he tasks the chosen man, Manu, to build said boat and save our and every other species. And in essence, Vishnu does that a bunch of times, saving the world in various ways. To be exact, 10 times he appears to rescue the world from certain doom, always in the form of a different avatar, like once in the form of a half-boar, half-human god, like once in the form of half lion, half human. Basically, he always appears in some super cool form to preserve values and morals like virtue and kinship and unity, often by fighting an evil demon that threatens to dominate the world and erase all beliefs in the gods. Basically, the plot of every anime ever. Also, one time Vishnu appears in an avatar whose name you might be familiar with, Buddha. Yeah, in Hinduism, Buddha is an avatar of Vishnu who preaches detachment as a way to reach the path of enlightenment that will lead people away from the desires that are the source of all suffering they experience in this physical world. But that whole Buddha thing, that deserves its own video, I think. What I will cover here, however, is the other very famous avatar Vishnu turned into, aka the story of how Vishnu turned into Krishna and had sex with 16,108 women at the same time. Krishna was Vishnu's 8th avatar, a form Vishnu assumed to once again save the world from a period of darkness. This time the world was threatened by the evil king Kamsa, who heard a prophecy that the 8th son of his sister and her husband would one day kill him. And you know how evil kings get when they hear prophecies of their certain doom? They do everything except the one thing that would stop it from happening, like always. My sister's son will be my death? Oh, woe is me, what do I do? Ugh, I don't know, maybe kill your sister, but no, evil King Kamsa decides to incarcerate his sister and her very fertile husband in the same prison cell with nothing else to do but to bone. So of course they have a bunch of children, and evil King Kamsa kills every single one. But on child number 8, the fertile husband escapes with the baby and runs into the nearest village to replace it with an innocent baby girl, who he then brings back to the prison. Yes, the man stole an innocent toddler girl and sentenced her to die instead of his son. So back in the prison cell, evil King Kamsa does his prophecy baby killing thing, but when he tries to kill the girl, she suddenly transforms into the goddess Durga and tells Kamsa that the boy of prophecy who will kill him one day is alive and now out of his reach. Of course, that boy is Krishna, Vishnu's 8th avatar, and Krishna grows up in safety while the evil King Kamsa does everything possible to kill the boy. So evil King Kamsa goes on babykillersforhire.com. Wait, what's the dot thing for India? Babykillersforhire.com. I-N, and evil King Kamsa finds the demon Putana, who he tasks with killing every baby in town that is under 10 days young. So Putana does her best Game of Thrones Season 2 episode 1 thing and kills them all until she finally gets to Krishna. And the way she plans to kill baby Krishna it's weird, it's odd. She does it by transforming into a beautiful woman and asking the stranger parents, "Hey, can I breastfeed your baby by any chance?" But of course, Krishna's parents are also the ones who didn't notice that their baby girl was replaced by a baby boy, so they were like, "Sure, that's a great idea." Little did the inattentive parents know, though, that Putana's breast milk was actually poison. But little did inattentive Putana know that Krishna was not actually drinking her breast milk, but sucking out her life force. And so Putana died, killed by baby Krishna.
I'm not safe! I'm grown! Stop being obsessed, you're making a raise.
Evil King Kamsa immediately enlisted another demon who transformed into a bull to kill now teenage Krishna. But teenage Krishna beat the bull demon up so bad that it turned back into the god it was before. Sin had turned the god into an angry, raging bull lost in darkness, aka thanks to teenage Krishna's whooping, the lost god / bull could now escape the cycle of rebirth and do the whole enlightenment thing. That's kind of the point of Hinduism. So at this point, Krishna is at 2 wins.
No losses!
And the evil King Kamsa is mad at this point. So he decides that a good old-fashioned wrestling match is obviously the way to go now. And he enlists Chanura, a wrestler known to kill his opponents. And Chanura challenges now adult Krishna to a wrestling match, but adult Krishna challenges Chanura's neck to twist 360 degrees. Yeah, during the match, Krishna breaks his neck and kills him. So now, evil King Kamsa is like,
"Fine. I'll do it myself."
And when he confronts Krishna with a sword, Krishna kills him and completes the prophecy.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
Then Krishna devotes his life to making sure good kings sit on the throne. And as for those 16,108 women, well, this one time,
at band camp,
a demon, Narakasura, threatened the world. And he was actually defeated by another Hindu hero. But after the demon was defeated and dead, it was discovered that it had imprisoned 16,108 women. And although the demon was now dead, the women had agreed to commit mass suicide, for they felt that their honor was disgraced, that no man nor their own family would ever accept them back again after they had been imprisoned and abused by an evil demon. All seemed lost until Krishna stepped up and married all of them. All 16,108 women, giving them his name, status, a home, and a good life. Yeah. You didn't think it would be such a wholesome story after all, did you? You were thinking, oh, 6,108 women, no, wholesome. And that's the story. Now, if you want the specific details of Krishna and these women, I'm sure that's a video you can find on other websites. But as for this video, I started this off by telling you that Hinduism is pretty hardcore. And I think I've proven it thanks to Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma, and Kali. And as for which one of these badasses actually gets to destroy the universe, we'll let them argue over that. Brahma blinking at the end of his day, which is like hundreds of millions of human years for us, by the way, or Vishnu inhaling or Blue Throat doing his thing, or Kali going Hulk mode. It doesn't matter. In the end, the universe will be destroyed, but not out of malice. No, none of them do it out of malice. The universe will merely end in the same way a snake sheds its skin every once in a while, for the natural cycle to continue. Simply put, one universe needs to end for another to be born.